let me start with this question. How many of you know the actual damage of our planet? And of course, I'm talking about Earth, our dear Earth. I'm sure you heard at least once about global warming, pollution, and things like that. But maybe you think there's nothing you can do about it. What if I tell you that you can help to save Earth? Yeah, we can help just by recycling at home. Like me, for example, I try every day to recycle as much plastic as I can. And you could think it's nothing, but believe me, even with baby steps, we can do a lot. Let's see deeply how Earth, our planet, is right now. People have damaged the system that sustain us in many ways. We have polluted air and water, strewn plastic and other trash on land and in oceans and rivers, and destroy habitats from plants and animals. Certainly, we're responsible for that. UN General Secretary Antonio Guterres said, "Humanity is waging a war against nature. This is suicidal. Nature always fights back, and it is already doing so with increasing force and fury. As biodiversity collapses, species risk extinction, deserts spread, and forests are lost." This situation is becoming bigger and bigger, day by day. Some things are in our hands to fix them, and others, unfortunately, don't. According to the CNN's article, "Humanity Wages a Suicidal War Against Nature," air and water pollution kills 9 million people per year, more than 6 times the current pandemic number. And as people and livestock further encroach on animal habitats and distort wild species, we could see more viruses and other disease-causing agents jump from animals to humans. We're facing a huge problem that it's not going to last just for this generation. We're going to leave this problem to our children, to our next generation. We must be conscious of it. In the oceans, there is overfishing, and they're shocking on plastic waste. The carbon dioxide they absorb is acidifying the seas. Coral reefs are bleaching and dying. The article cited before also says that ocean heat is at record levels, and more than 80% of the global ocean experienced a marine heat wave sometimes in the 2020. As you can see, these are a few of the many things our planet is suffering, but all isn't lost. We still can do something about it, not only for today, especially for tomorrow. If you want to help to decrease these problems, here are some ideas. We're blessed to be able to do something about it, but if we do nothing now, future generations won't be so lucky. We can contribute to the cause in the comfort of our homes with simple ideas like read labels and packages, separate waste into different containers, deposit the weights in the corresponding container, learn what to do with special waste, recycle cooking oil, clean food containers before disposing of them in the container, reduce the size of bottles and packages, involve your entire family and environment in your recycling plan. Recycling and reuse go hand by hand. This is very important. Now, thanks to the Junker blog article, 10 tips to recycle at home and do your part to help, We have some helpful ideas for you to apply to your daily habits. But today, let's focus on starting just with one, because doing this idea helps to avoid further damage to the ocean. I'm talking about recycling cooking oil. Most of the cooking oil ends up in the sea because we throw it up to the sinks. This happens because one of the most common problems when recycling at home is that we don't know what to do with used oil cooking. This waste should be deposited in a special container and never flush down to the toilet or kitchen sink. A tip for recycling this oil is to store it in a glass jar, which once filled should be taken to a collection point. Believe it or not, there's some people who don't believe in this huge problem. If you ask me, they don't want to see it. These people say that all garbage is mixed in the same truck. There are usually several types of truck that make their collection independently. But in cases where a single truck empties all the recycling containers inside, you should know that these are more modern vehicles with separation of compartments inside, so that each type of waste is isolated from the others. In this way, all waste separated in household is collected and sorted by the trucks for subsequent treatment. Another thing that they say is at the recycling plant, everything is brought together. It's impossible that after collection, the different types of waste are mixed, basically because these facilities are usually separate and only the waste to be treated arrives at each of them. Another thing that they say is that recycling pollutes more than manufacturing a new product. The damage to the environment is much bigger if a material has to be produced completely from scratch than if a recycling system is set up. Since recycling saves water, energy, and raw materials. For example, manufacturing a can from recycled metal reduces energy consumption by 95%. And in the case of paper, it saves 62% of energy and 86% of water. In contrast to the linear consumption model, which generates a continuous expenditure of resources. There is the circular economy, which through reuse and recycle leads to saving in production processes and a reduction in energy and raw material consumption. Another thing that they say is the quality of a recycled product is worse. It's common to hear that a product made from recycled materials is of poorer quality than a product made from new materials. This is a false belief, since glass, aluminum, and plastics can be recycled and reused in an unlimited way without losing their properties. In the case of paper and cardboard, a pulp is generated that is used to create new products such as shoe boxes, books, or newspaper with a good quality of material. And another thing that they say is that recycling causes job losses. It's just the opposite. In countries where recycling has become institutionalized as a widespread practice, the need to set up recycling plants has in some cases increased the employment rate in the sector tenfold. Sometimes part of the solution of a big problem can be just in our hands. By ignoring this, I know nothing can happen right now, but think about the future. Our family, anyone that will stay after we pass away, think about them. Our planet is suffering because of us, and we still can make a little changes in our life. And if we don't act now, in a nearly future, we won't be able to do anything to stop it. We can make a great job with this, and try to stop contaminating with simple actions in our daily life. Our family will enjoy our planet as much as we are doing it right now. They deserve that opportunity, and I know all of them will be grateful with our effort. And even better, they will continue with these little things and improve good practices. The best way to help is by doing as much as we can as a person who wants to contribute to the planet. We can be part of this and make things happen. It's better late than never to start taking care of this big place where all we are living together. I encourage you to start as soon as you can. You just need to assign an empty bottle to start collecting all the oil we use daily at the kitchen and try to transmit this message to the people you know in order to be more and more people contributing to our planet. It's in our hands to save the earth today, and especially it's in our hands to leave this beautiful planet to our next generations. Thank you.